Hi, hello, everybody. Comments. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night. We are here. Those who are joining us. Copy. I will be sharing with you guys the link for you to join me tonight on the live stream. So you guys can always come on. Tonight we'll be talking to a few young people. If you're hearing me, let me know. Let me know, folks, if you're hearing me. Tonight we'll be delving into a little bit of politics, a little bit of why we're here, where we are, why young people like myself choose the Jamaica Labour Party. And we're just going to chat a little bit. And I welcome you all to join me right here. How are you guys doing? Please type in the chat so I could see you guys who are here. My TikTok family who is here already. Thanks for joining. Chuck Finley, big up yourself. My friend. Big up yourself. In the meantime, I'm just going to play a little video that I have here and we can talk about it, right? In the meantime.
How can we avoid repeating the same errors that led to the financial meltdown of the 1990s in Jamaica? Let's delve into the tragic story of FINSAC, the Financial Sector Adjustment Company, and uncover the lessons it has to offer. In 1991, the Jamaican government made a hasty decision, removing controls on foreign exchange in a bid to stimulate economic growth. However, this move backfired spectacularly, resulting in inflation rates that soared to the stratosphere. With the cost of goods and services skyrocketing, Jamaican businesses found it increasingly challenging to compete on the global stage. In a bid to curb this rampant inflation, the government took another drastic step, hiking up interest rates to artificially bolster the value of the Jamaican dollar. This move, however, created an economic chasm. On one side, a handful of individuals profited handsomely from the high interest returns. On the other side, a vast majority grappled with mounting debts that threatened to sink their businesses. As the economic crisis deepened, jobs started evaporating, and the economy spiraled into a deep abyss. Foreign companies, sensing the economic tremors, quickly packed up and relocated to more favorable markets. Local businesses, meanwhile, found themselves ensnared in a financial quagmire, with no escape route in sight. In response to this burgeoning crisis, the government birthed FINSAC in 1998. Yet FINSAC's focus was misdirected. Rather than throwing a lifeline to struggling businesses, FINSAC chose to shield wealthy depositors and investors, failing to address the root causes of the crisis. The fallout from FINSAC's actions was catastrophic. A multitude of businesses crumbled, livelihoods were shattered, and the entrepreneurial spirit of Jamaicans took a severe hit. The echoes of this period still reverberate through Jamaica's economy today. As we reflect on the tragic saga of FINSAC, we find ourselves face to face with some hard-learned lessons. It's vital that we recognize the missteps of the past and take strides to ensure they don't repeat themselves. By understanding the failures of the past, we can chart a course towards a more prosperous future. It's a journey that requires honesty, courage, and above all, a commitment to learning from our past.
Okay, guys, that was that. We shared a little bit there about FINSAC, and why in particular it is important, why we continue to talk about it, right? When we look back at history has taught us, just like what has shown there, that only a few people benefited, and some of the people that benefited was DB&G. Now, What is DB&G? Who owns DB&G? Chuck,
Blessed.
you look like a savior voice to come on. And what kind of raspy voice that you come on with tonight, Chuck?
Nah, man, this are the FINSAC voice. You have to go deep in a FINSAC, so your voice have to deep. But definitely to the first question asked, how can we not repeat there's a simple way not to repeat it. The simplest way is to ensure that the People's National Party, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, never get back their hands on the coffers of Jamaica. That is the simplest way for us not to return there. Never, well, I'm not going to say never. I'm going to say, as it is today, never return that PMP to power.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chuck. A lot of people are saying there's one thing that is trending, right? And they're like, "Oh, Mark Golding name was never called. He was never mentioned." But when we look through the document, especially the one that I use as my thumbnail, it says DB&G got $30 million US dollars from the
And
government
and
of
and
Jamaica.
that and that is just one of the deals, right? That is just one of the deals. So all we saying that Mark Golding name is not enter and mentioned. The G in DB&G is for Golding. Okay? Whether who would want to live in denial is up to them. But the G in that abbreviation is for Golding, Deering, Bunting, and Golding. Chris Deering, Peter Bunting, and Mark Golding.
Golding. Right. and and
Right.
and people are so naive. People are so naive to, I don't know, I wouldn't want to say that people are naive, but they're just looking for this polished person that they believe that is going to come and save Jamaica, and it is not so. It
You
is
see,
not.
what I've learned, and let me just link that to something that is happening now. I don't know if you've been following the recent Uber NCB dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, everybody in there is telling you what NCB did wrong. But nobody is blaming the persons that actually tried to rob NCB. NCB may be a shithole of a bank. But in this case, it was person who was trying to rob them.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a problem in Jamaica when it comes to forcing people to take responsibility for their action. It is always somebody else's fault,
Yes, but never the people.
never the people's fault.
Yes. And I
Right.
saw that today. I saw that today. I will link it today with somebody saying that they were at the hospital for a couple hours. I think they said they got there at 12 a.m. and it was sometime, but it was a lengthy time. It was beyond 12 hours, and they have not seen a doctor or anything like that. And one of the things, the comment section was like, "Oh, vote, go and vote, and it matters who you vote for, and politics and politician." And when we look at it, Chuck, politicians don't work in these places.
Exactly. Right. And
Politicians don't
and
work
it-
in
and
there,
it,
but we are not an accountable nation.
no, there's always trying to blame somebody else. It is always them. Them a fight with. The system create that way there. But who is the system? The person that are working in it. The moment we start in a Jamaica to hold people accountable, and I'm talking right through, yes, when is the time to hold politicians accountable? Yes, they have to be held accountable. But if you go to a hospital and you don't see a doctor, is that the politician's fault? If there is no doctor, that
But
is the politician's fault.
Lincoln Gibbs, good night. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming. But why do we fail though? Why do we fail to point the fingers in the right direction? Why is it as a nation we fail? And I've asked you this question already. Are we a corrupt nation? Why are we so unaccountable?
Well, it proved with this saga that I just mentioned, the NCB Uber saga, it proved that we are a corrupt nation.
Over again, one more time.
The NCB Uber saga proved that we are a corrupt nation. Because, listen to this now, and this is very important. Everybody who got a Uber ride, they pay and realize that the transaction was reversed to them. How many of them called NCB and said, listen to me, I think something is wrong here. You know? Me just get a ride and make the money come back to my account. How much of them do it?
Not one of
The,
them.
the majority of them call them
Majority,
friend,
right?
and say, listen, me just get one free ride on Uber and try it and see if you can get it too. Yes, we are a corrupt nation. But we only see the corruption over our neighbor yard.
And we only see it when we're not benefiting.
When we're not benefiting. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's what we mean over the neighbor yard.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said that what they did was to sell the rides, and
Yes,
the driver and the passengers would partner,
with partner.
and what they did as well was to book the rides. The ride would have been $3,000, but you're tipping at $20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what sent off the alerts with NCB, because NCB saying there's no way you can be booking a ride for $3,000, $5,000 and you're tipping. Right? There was one person who gone for 1 month over $750,000
Over $750,000 in that. Where the hell you going?
because they were selling the rides, Chuck.
Right.
They were participating, and this is why even the scamming that goes on in other parts, in St. James and whatever, people are complicit. People, it was a network. It is a network.
It is a network. It goes that even at one stage, the hardware owners in St. James was saying they love this camera because they pay cash. So yes, we are a corrupt nation. And that is why now we have what I deem, and the records will prove that we have now the least corrupt administration we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But people are judging them based on what happened in the past.
Yes, use fact
Nobody is
finding.
actually looking at this government line by line and say, okay, let me judge them after their own. No. It's a generalized term. Politician this, politician that. Who not always this, who not always that. It is so bad now. Let me tell you about personal responsibility comes when Angela Brownberg can seriously go and I blame government for a road in a constituency that they have been in charge of
And
for
they
nearly
come
50 years.
and they come back again. It come back again to accountability.
Accountability.
It comes back again to accountability.
Right?
The right people are not being held
Are not
accountable
being held accountable because
because
there's a mindset here that says the politician this and the politician that. And we have to get out that mindset and start holding people accountable for their jobs. Right? If the roadside for paint and we employ somebody for paint the roadside, well, the prime minister must go down and go paint it himself. No, hold the man who is accountable for painting it himself.
but Chuck, go back to the Angela Brownberg a little bit,
Mm.
because we think say, and I'll forever say this. It is, and you have said it yourself, Chuck. I think they display a level of disrespect for the Jamaican people,
Yes.
the highest level too, because there's no way me know say you are the MP, you are supposed to lobby for that road, and you are gonna come tell me say you not responsible, Chuck.
You are not responsible. Exactly. And as I said now, it is
But
why
Chuck, before you say anything else, give me the
mm,
history of Angela Brownberg's seat, because you would have known it.
that seat was won by Portia Simpson Miller in, I think it was from 1970, in the 72 election, I think. And I don't think the Jamaica Labour Party has ever won it back. except when we were in 1983 when there was no contest. Right, but we have never from that time. And remember, the deep dark history of that seat is that seat was won in a local genocide.
It's in
Yeah,
the genocide, and they so them burn out the people them.
burn out the people, them kill them, murder who no one run away. So eventually, the original occupants of those homes had to get up and run, and they have held it election after election since. That seat is so loyal to the PMP that in one general election, they had a 110% voter turnout.
Yes, I remember that. It says she won in 1976. That's when she first.
76. Okay,
Yes.
yes, 76. Yes.
Yes, guys, wanna hear that for those who are listening?
That seat
That seat
is so loyal
Mm.
that in one election they had a 110% voter turnout.
You hear
Right?
that? 110%, not 100%.
Not
So
100%,
they have the entire
110% voter
constituency.
turnout.
They have
Plus
plus
the
additional
entire
from it.
constituency plus turned out to vote. That
Plus,
has never happened in no other seat in Jamaica. No
right.
other seat ever had that.
And guys, I like to put it out there. The information that we are giving you is available
It's
on the
available.
DOJ website. This is no prank. It's no bullshit
It's no
talking,
more.
right? It is real data we're telling you that is available.
Real data. It
Yeah,
is
man.
available. 100. That has never happened to her. So that is the level of loyalty they have. But if you look at the demographic of that seat, it is a possibly about 60 to 70%. I'm gonna say underemployed, because really and truly, the majority of them find them look a hustle. So I'm not gonna say unemployed. Them find them look a hustle and make them money. But it is not. It is a seat that if, and I remember, and that the party that is in charge of that seat led government for 18 and a half years. They produced the prime minister. The seat produced the prime minister, and is still in a deplorable condition. Right? So the people, them no lack loyalty. What they lack is representation. They lack proper representation. From Portia come down to Angela Brown Burke. All they do is the bare minimum.
And get pay and blame
And
others.
be mothers.
Somebody's asking where Lincoln is asking. So where's the constituency funds that she's getting? And we would
Exactly.
like to know the same thing. We have been asking the
We have
same,
been asking.
but there's so many other programs as well that she could have used through NAA. All it takes is a little lobbying.
All
And
right.
she has been the MP for years. Portia has been the MP for years. So I don't understand how.
One of the every road that they tell you that the last time the road was fixed, and because I know the exact road they're talking, I drive on that road very often. I know the exact road. The last time the road was fixed was truly in 2007. But we've had rains and all of that other side, and you are there, you have your constituency development fund. And you have let me tell you something. I give you a list. I think one of the best maintained constituency we have in Jamaica is possibly Central St. James. And that is Hero Clark constituency, the farm deputy speaker.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining, Dean and
And
Claudian. Good night.
majority of the projects that is carried out by that member of parliament is actually not done with government money, There are several NGO groups in Jamaica that they have to lobby and go to Digicel Foundation and say, Digicel Foundation, who want to build one little clinic on there, so. And Digicel, we say, all right, make you half of the money. And you go to our next NGO and you get half. More on our road fix, you go to some people and you get, that's how they manage to maintain their constituency. So when you have the prime minister sitting in our constituency and they refuse to fix the The bare minimum is to give the people an even better, even road for drive pan. When you as a prime minister sit there and then you hand it off to a next person who again have no interest in improving the circumstances of the persons there, right? Is where we are going to have a continuation of it until one of the generation there have to get up and say, listen to me, we are doing this long enough. Let us make a change. Is what happened in Westmoreland. The younger generation decides to listen to me. We have seen our parents do this long enough and we're not getting anything. Apart from that constituency, Westmoreland also produce some of the most powerful ministers of government in the PNP, you know? And that is a very underdeveloped parish.
We know it. We can see it. And one thing, I was in talking to Ian Miles. He's a counselor in Westmoreland one night, and Ian Miles said, "Del Rifle, big up." And Ian Miles said the people in Westmoreland were reading at grade 6 level. Hear me say? Grade 6 level. The people in Westmoreland. So this is not a joke thing.
It's not a joke thing. It's a serious matter where the country is concerned.
And as Chuck say, we have had prime minister, we have had minister of tourism, we have minister of water,
Minister of agriculture,
minister of agriculture from that exact
parish.
And it is one of the most underdeveloped parish, and it is one of the parish that is suffering from lack of education. These are the people who are voting and determine people who understand and can make better decision, but because we act all the time like we're better than the process, they decide for us.
They decide for us. They decide who run the country. Then people sit.
And when we come here and say, hey, go out and vote, please go vote. Uno say, no, me not vote, me can't bother, me not this, me not that. Right? And people, adult who are past 18, who are read at grade 6 level and make decision for you know.
Look at it. Let me tell you about development and the People's National Party. There is in central Manchester, the People's National Party's strongest division is Belfield. They have a road up there. I don't remember the name of the road. That them claim say.
Good night, Joseph. Good night, Cheryl. Thanks for joining. Sorry.
Man, they ride up there with donkey. So it's one of them party road that them believe in. You know, one of them we call them flagship place in there. And the people that live there didn't know where asphalt look like until road one. They don't know where asphalt pan in them community look like until Rhoda Crawford went there and fixed the road. Right? Somebody in a conversation one day, somebody said to me that them couldn't do nothing because them never have no money to do all the Labour Party I do now. And they are so correct. But the money where Labour Party have right now to do things did not fall out of the sky. Somebody did not pull up at the harbour with one big check when Andrew win and say, oh no, he fixed Jamaica. No.
And Chuck, what you need to emphasize on when you say that is that Labour Party go through pandemic, hurricane, right? And when the Labour Party, even after our Category 3 hurricane, the Labour Party can still say, hey, we're gonna spend $40 billion on roads, and we're going to $45 billion, and they still say, hey, we're going to use a little bit for reach. They're going to design a new program
yes.
to touch reach. Then, as Chuck say, I don't think here we don't have no Santa. And for me, I think Labour Party always go through the hardest period. When Bruce Golding was there was a recession.
There was a world recession, the world financial crisis.
And if you look around today, many countries are silently in a recession. If you look at the world, what is going on with the world, the war, and all kind of things that is happening. The world is in a silent recession, but nobody's talking about it.
What I want to understand is that during the 90s, you know, the PNP governed Jamaica during one of, I'm not gonna say one of, probably the most profitable
progressive period
in the world. Those of you who follow international politics, we know that during the 90s, the American government under Bill Clinton did not run a deficit. They took down the debt clock, which means America was blooming. And we always repeat it, say anything America, anytime they cough, we catch cold. Then how we didn't catch that cold? Right? No, again, I've been saying it, and we have to continue. When we tell people say representation matter, that is what we talk about. Mark Golding, again, is on paper one of the richest man in a Jamaica. All of we with sense know that. Presiding over one of the worst constituency we have.
But Chuck, you need to tell them, say no, when Mark Golding when they sold DB&G in what, 2007?
Yes.
When they sold DB&G and Mark Golding's share of DB&G was $600 million US.
Yep.
Want to hear that? And that is off the back of taxpayers.
That is over that is almost $250 million.
And remember when Mark Golding...
Sorry, $750 million.
And remember when Mark Golding declared in his statutory declaration, half of that money, not even a quarter of it, has not been accounted for. It is there. You can go on the IC website and it can tell you that money no mentioned in there, none at all. Mark Golding don't even have a house in Jamaica.
Right.
Mark Golding need a social house. So no call the Prime Minister and tell him say Mark need a social house.
But and then no, why I say representation matter is that in the same breath, the same man who are go on international stage and tell us how things are bad in Jamaica is investing $3 billion in low-income houses in another country.
Him not believe in a way.
$3 billion. And while presiding over a constituency that most of them don't have flush toilet.
But Chuck, saying that, talk about Hanover, talk about Westmoreland, talk about the PNP constituencies, Chuck. What is common?
What is common in every single PNP constituency is underdevelopment.
Poverty.
Lack of education.
The whole of Westmoreland, you know, is suffering, you know. There's no water, there's no housing, there's no road in Westmoreland, you know, people. And remember, say, this is a PNP parish, you know.
Them say a Philip parish. The place they can do anything and win at any time.
Exactly. See them take Dayton and say them a send Dayton down there because them convinced said Dayton can win down there because a safe seat. Dayton is from St. Anne's. Dayton get a ass whooping a St. Anne's and them not put him back in a parish where him come from. Right? Them take him, send him go way down to Westmoreland because guess what? The people of Westmoreland, them don't have no standard. So them put anybody and anything down there.
And look at the level of work that Crystal Lee have to be putting into that constituency.
And he's from the constituency.
And he's from there. Right? He's from there. Right? And there's roads, there's clinic. Now they're going asking about clinics. They're asking about road. Look at the amount of road repair that is going on in East Portland that the PNP held for so long. Right? As I said, is the common denominator in all PNP constituency. poverty because the PMP, as they have proven over and over, believe, say, government must do everything for you. They will not teach you to be a contributor to your country. Them rather let the country give you and give you and give you. That is why Andrew House was the topic, because as God to them building a house is bad. Then now he's in bank account, then now he's in business. And we are going to look for the next things, because the idea is that you know if you have nothing. That is why them keep them constituents that way. Right? There in a, if you go up in the entrance to Mark Golden constituency, have a hole in there. If one look up at the drop in there, then you can't find him. That is Mark Golden's constituency.
Chuck, you are familiar. You are familiar with Kingston. What have Mark Golden done in that constituency? Tell me how you believe, and I'm asking honestly, that he has made any improvement of the people in life.
I have been asking that question myself. What has Mark Golden done in his constituencies since taking over in 2017? I think he did. What has he done for the people of that constituency? And I cannot find anything. When you ask him, have one supporter that I talk to regular, and then we tell you about a hard school that was there that he did something to. But that is where you're going to go see. You are a businessman. You say you are a Tapanaris investment banker. If I was a Tapanaris investment banker and I go into a constituency, I will have to set up, I will have to make that constituency very business minded, because of that me know. So I go in there, I go clean up the people, them environment. I go change them standard of living. Mark Golden has offered no improvement to the people in life. Mark Golden have one person in that constituency that that I would say is afraid of. Right? And we can refer to him as Big George for the purpose of this conversation. And I would say he's afraid of him. So when he goes there, he gives that man, look, we're going HR. He would give that man whatever he needs, and that man would wrangle the animals an election day. But if I could speak to those people, both in Mark Golden constituency and Angela Brownberg constituency, and I would say this to the older folks. Think of your children. Do you want them to come and do the same thing that you do? Do you want them to go downtown every time Parliament keep and stand up in the sun and wait for one member of Parliament to come out for either hand your thing or tell us to meet me later?
But can they think? What if them prefrontal cortex not develop yet to think them way there?
That also is another thing.
What if their prefrontal cortex, guys, I may say, what if them brain not fully developed yet?
Fully developed. No, it's not fully developing. I think majority of their brain.
Good night.
Their brain is programmed towards, what would I call it now, handout.
I'm posting the link in the chat, guys. You can send a request. You can join us. HR Guru, big up yourself. Thank you for joining. What's up? What's going on? HR Guru gone? Him jump out? Okay. You can join us, guys. The link is in the
chat. Lincoln Gibson, I see you all passing through.
Big up on yourself, man.
But that is the when the Prime Minister speaks about the fight for the minds of the people, you know.
Yeah.
That is what we're talking about. And we have to fight to change the people's mindset. Right? That is what
I have a problem, Chuck. I have a problem. One of our friends detailed something to us a few weeks ago, and I think I have to report it. I have to repeat it, sorry. And he said he gave his friend a start. Him give him friend used to scam, lose everything out of scamming. Him help him to do a bar, sit down, watch the bar run down. He said, all right, me I go try with you again, give you some chicken, start a chicken farm. Cool. The chicken farm never come to fruition, right? Work out. Good night, Angie. Thank you. Work out, and now him say him a go vote for Mark Golding because Andrew mash up the country. How do we get to? How do we correct that? HR Guru, make me hear from you a little bit, Chuck. Hold on. How do we correct that?
Give me 2 minutes, Ashika. My mouth is full, sorry. That eat, sorry.
But you see, that is where we talk about Chico, and we say people not taking responsibility for that action. Now, as I say, you did all of that and you failed. You failed your business, and you now say, boy, what did I do wrong? How could I make it right the next time? No, as somebody else's fault make you fail.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else's fault, not your own.
Accountability. This word has been popping up since we start. This is not the premise we start on, but every corner we take, Chuck, is like people feel to hold themselves and hold the people them what they're supposed to hold accountable. So it just keeps popping up, guys. For those who have been here since the live started, accountability. Every corner we take, it's accountability.
Every corner we take, it go come up.
The man say me I go vote for Mark because Andrew not do nothing for me.
And that is the mentality everybody have. What them I do for me? And if we should, as I say, if we analyze now, we realize that for the young and the old, there has never ever been this much opportunity for them to do something for themselves. Right? You can imagine me when me did young, did have the opportunity to get up and walk in a heart and pick up a skill. And then me don't like that one, then me go pick up a next one. And then me don't like that one, then me go pick up a next one. And get paid to do it.
Guru, you heard what I was saying. I don't know if you hear me or you want me to repeat.
Yeah, run it again.
I was saying that one of our regular bloggers said that he gave his friend used to scam, lost all his money, buy vaccine, the vaccine mash up, and him say, all right, me I go help you with a bar, help him friend with a bar, the bar run down, him sit down in there, watch it, make it run down, he say, all right, I'm gonna give you some chicken, me I go help you to buy some chicken, you start a farm, that also failed, and his premise is that he's going to vote for Mark, because Andrew do nothing for him.
Well,
how do we because I don't know if we're able to reach a lot of these people, and as we were talking about the battle for the mind, as the Prime Minister said, how we get to all these people now who now hold themselves accountable for their failure.
Right. Okay, so it goes to the heart of the question of accountability, but sadly, Lashika, this is politics, and not every man and woman will be saved. You can't reach everybody. That's just the reality. That's our reality. In that case, the scenario that you just gave a while ago, Mark didn't give the person anything, or Andrew didn't give the person anything, or better yet, the PNP didn't give him anything, or the Labour Party didn't give him anything. It was Bridget giving him it. Right? And still, it didn't make sense of it. So, you see, when they talk about Mark or Andrew did not give them nothing, you see, sadly, our politicians over the years have facilitated this very nasty culture of paternalism in our politics. And so persons believe that if they're not getting something in their pocket, then the politics now work for them, or they don't see the use of government or politicians for the life of our independence from 1962 to date. We have this paternalistic culture in our political system, and I think it is one of the biggest problems that we're facing now. And sadly, it's hard to get rid of, right? Because our politicians themselves have facilitated it over the years. So that is why that particular person can say, "Oh, I'm not getting none from the government, or I'm not getting none from Andrew, so I go to Mark." You get me? Instead of trying to make use of the opportunities that are there for him him want to get something from politicians. That's paternalism. That's that's paternalism personified, Lashika. And sadly, it's going to be with us for the next 10, 30 years until politicians, until we improve the environment, of course, and until politicians take a personal step. Let me use that word.
Accountability again.
Right. So we need to get rid of that paternalistic thing, culture. I heard you earlier, you and Chuck talking about the NCB issue, and yes, that's accountable. That goes to accountable. We're not a very accountable people, and there's no case for the customers, because what the customers did in that particular case is in when they call it in law, larceny by finding. So there's no case for them.
Yes.
Largely by finding. So there's no case for them because they went ahead and exploited the system when they saw that the reverse charges were coming back. So we're not a very accountable people. We don't hold leaders accountable, unfortunately. And we need to get rid of the paternalism that we have in our political culture.
That is so true, HR. That is true. So and the problem what we are going to have this HR is that so when you switch over to Mark now, Mark and him people is not gonna tell him to listen to me now. Here what we are gonna give you. We're gonna give you an opportunity to do something. No, they're gonna actually give him something now and say put this in our hand, and they're gonna say, boy, Mark are the greatest thing. But then whatever Mark give him, I gonna go the same way as the other business didn't have. Because guess what? He wasn't forced to earn any of them. So he doesn't know to earn, he only know to lose. And whenever I lose, me just go back to the man and give me a thing again.
There was this person who was on a live. I was on a live with one day on a TikTok live, and the person said, PNP's policy back in the days was they would say, okay, we're going to fix a road in your community, right? When they decide to fix that road, a one man, the money go to, and the road is not fixed. But yet the man, when you want a thing, you go to that the man have the biggest house in the community, right? And the road no fix. Him get the money and him control everything, right? And when you want a thing, you just go to him. And this is the cycle. So people benefit personally from those kind of handout behavior, and the community itself fails.
Remember, I don't know if you remember in a speech recently when Mark Golding said in a future administration he would empower once again the community leaders. That what you just mentioned is exactly what he was talking about. Right there, what you just mentioned is exactly what he was talking about. Giving back one man in the community all the power. So when election time comes, that one man, by any means necessary, will get out all the people to go and vote for that man, because guess what? Him. Right? And we have now the father mentality, where that man now is the father of the community.
Yes.
Right? So anything we want, we go to him, and him are going to give you a handout.
And I
collect with night dinner, and we go eat with night dinner, and tomorrow we're hungry. But guess what? The boss will give you something yesterday.
Yes, and I specifically say this, guys, because I wanted to tie in that to what HR say, right? So we need to get rid of it. We just get the whatever we're getting now, and later on, maybe next 2 months, we get it again, and we are suffer, right? But continue. HR, you were saying something. Angie, good night. Thanks for joining.
Good night.
Yeah, I was saying briefly that what Chuck said a while ago about getting something from the MP. What is the long-term effect of that? It doesn't help the person that get the brown paper envelope in that period. It doesn't help you, because what it creates is, one, paternalism, and it turns the person who is getting that envelope in a pariah. So that person will perpetually be, we call it, a pariah, or will always be on the periphery of society.
Yeah.
So
Dependent.
yes, and that's not what any human being should yearn for. You get me? The purpose of government is to create a space, to create policies, so that we the citizens can carve out our own space in society. Going to a MP office to collect brown paper envelope or to get a thing, no, don't help you in the long term. So
But
that
every
is where
single
MPs need
week,
to stem it.
one key thing we need to ask, who is paying for that money that you're getting in the brown envelope? Who is paying for it?
You
Where is
remember
it
the
coming
29,
from?
you remember the $29 million that went to DB&G? All
So
right.
I have a different outlook, HR, and I'm speaking on my okay. My opinion really is because I work with mostly young people. They think I'm the oldest person at my workplace because these young kids are coming out of high school. They're like 21. I think the oldest person I've worked with is about 26. However, they are so well informed when it comes to American politics. You guys probably have heard one of my partners when I was on live how much he was informed. He knew about where he wanted to be, who and what party he's about. I'm saying this to say we have to go back from the school. I know we have civil a civil class.
Civics.
How
Civics.
civics. How long ago did we have that in Jamaica?
It was cut out in the
No,
90s.
2002 under the PNP, and it was reinstated by
2002.
Faval. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where HR, these younger people who are now looking for what you would think the older folks are looking for, that's where they're getting it from. If they're not educated on something when it comes to civil education, how are they going to understand the role of the government? How are they going to understand what this means for them as a young person leaving high school? How much they vote matters. They do have a right to vote. That is their right. They don't know. This was never taught to them from a young home, because even in America here, young people are taught this from their parent because example, soccer. Chuck, if you have a little son and you are a soccer lover, you are going to teach him from he is 2 years old or younger about the role, how you play soccer, defense, the goal, the this, the that. You're going to instill
Which team to support?
exactly those things are going to be taught and instilled in him. And so, even in a political home, it doesn't have to be political, but a person who is, a more educated in the politics is going to teach his young child from our early days. We don't have that in Jamaica. We don't have it in the educational system. And so, we can't really blame the young people.
Don't say we don't have it. Say it was taken from them.
It was taken from them because I learned civics in school. So we
Yeah.
had it.
We were robbed. Many of us were robbed from
Robbed
that.
from
From
that,
that.
yes.
Yeah. Right? It was
And
replaced with basic.
Peter, will I check it out now. The generation that was robbed of learning civic in school are now the ignorant one we have running around on social media.
Facts. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that very generation that would have gone through it in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's the generation we have now who doesn't know the role of government, who is telling you that if I go to a hospital and the receptionist rude to me, is because of the prime minister part or the minister of health part. If I go there and I have to wait, right? That is the generation we have now.
And Chuck and Nashika, but these young people have 7 and 8 and 9 subjects. So for you to be so bright, but you're still uninformed about the government and how government works, we have to wonder what happened.
One of the biggest problem that I have is that our people don't take the time out to learn stuff for themselves as well. Our people are so lacking in the basic information, right? They don't, as I say again, accountability. They don't know who to be to hold accountable, because they don't know how the municipalities work. They don't know how central government work. They don't know how the hospitals work. Even the fact with the surgery the other day, the government is being blamed for that. What about the CMOs? What about the CEOs? Because the hospitals do have CEOs, and them have head doctor, head nurse.
Yes.
Yeah,
They have a whole management team in place. There's a whole management team in place.
yeah, a director. You have director in all different level, because you have the director of nursing. You also have a different director to deal with different aspect in a hospital, right?
But before you reach us Angel, the country is divided into 4 regional regions, health regions.
Mm-hmm.
So before you even get to Christopton and Bisesa in the ministry, you have the regional offices that supervise hospitals in a particular region. And then before as I go down the line now, there's a management team for the hospital,
So are there
right?
director for each hospital, or is it medical director for one for over
Each
for all?
hospital have a medical director. Each hospital have a CMO.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What people don't understand is that whenever you get, all right, let's use the Ministry of Health. You see, whenever you leave the regional authority, is to deal with policy. Operations happen at the regional authority. That is where you take care of operation. Once you go to the ministry, it's to deal with policy. So unless there's a policy breakdown, unless there's a policy failure, then you deal with the person who are in charge. You put the blame where it lies.
Mm-hmm.
AC system, I would find if you have to send to the minister to get an AC repair, then something is gravely wrong.
Yes. 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 Because you know what too? Me hear the minister saying that he needs to start calling out people. Do you believe in that, Chuck?
I believe that we are heading to that route. We have to actually start naming them, putting them on the front line, putting them in the line of fire. Make people know that these people are collecting multi-million-dollar salary.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody know who they are. Nobody know what's their job.
So he's holding them accountable, because
You
someone
have
has
to hold them accountable.
absolutely.
That's I agree, but you see in Jamaica,
HR, you are the HR guru. What steps do you think we need to take?
what steps we need to take for?
Yeah, because he's saying that he's going to start naming the people, right? Naming them. So do you think it's a good step? How do we deal with the inefficiency that is affecting the public sector now? Because that's a grave that's what's affecting the public sector for me. That's causing the non-productivity and all of that. How do we fix it? What do we need to do now?
Yeah, so the problem that we're facing comes from different areas because, for example, I see Christophe stood up in Parliament just a couple of days ago, and he was putting the blame where the blame is supposed to go, and then the opposition and other persons were saying, "Oh, he might try to shift the buck, might try to pass the buck because he's a minister." And while I understand that Minister Tufton is at the top of the totem pole, you really have to put the buck. Put the blame where the blame ought to go.
Yes.
Right? But in Jamaica, we have a media fraternity that doesn't help with the ignorance that is abroad among people. In fact, the media helps or supports the ignorance that is abroad among people. Because when minister or whichever minister comes out and try to provide clarity to certain issues, and in the case of Christopher, who is calling out who is supposed to be called out, the people they must say, or the media I say, oh, the minister is trying to shift the buck because he's the minister and he's top of the totem pole, so the buck stops with him. That's not necessarily the case. That's not correct. And so I agree with Tufton. Put the blame where it's supposed to go. In any organization at work, and if you are to be held accountable, they're gonna hold you accountable, you personally accountable, because you you went wrong somewhere. You caused something to happen. And that is the nature of any organization. And the government or public service is no different. It is no different. And especially when you have public officers. I hear somebody, I think I hear she said my colleague for money. When you have public officers who in some cases preside over vast amount of resources, and then when certain things happen, you really have to point out where the blame ought to lie. So I agree with Tufton. That may be a policy position that we have to adopt, but I think that's the right way to go.
Yeah, man, that is definitely the correct way to go. We have to start shining the light on the person that are sitting in the dark, collecting them pay, and when they fail, we point over them head and say that is what we do. That's what say. I don't know. It's our take.
I'm going to
And
share.
again, the prime minister is so correct when he said we have to go fight for the minds of the people.
Mm-hmm.
He
I'm
can
going
go
to
check
share something with you guys. You see, and this is how we are. I was speaking to my cousin actually, right? And I will not name the companies, but both companies pay well. One pay way more than the other, and she she was um she was doing the payroll, and well, two of the guys left the company, and she was doing the payroll, and she saw, I think she was auditing the payroll, and she saw where they came back, and she called and she said, hey, these persons are no longer in the company. Why are we paying them? What are we paying them for? And when she did the checks and everything, they said no, they're back. When she dig down deeper into it, they were like, they are back because the other company is too strict, right? Everything has to be in place. And there she was like, these people were getting double what they're getting now here.
but,
This is the problem, and this is the
but
mindset
because they fear
is
because
in.
them fear accountability.
Yes. Yes, because they are being held accountable. You cannot be late, and you have to work according to your job description. Hey, Philippians, you have to work according to your job description. So
but
these are the very same people that are in the public sector not giving a rat's ass, and then the government itself is being blamed. Another thing that I will say to you, a friend of mine who is also a public servant, he said that the permanent secretaries are making the government look bad at things. And I know why he said that, because when it comes on to a lot of things, the benefits and informing people and doing that, the public, the permanent secretaries are not doing what they're supposed to do. And we fail to hold these people accountable. Everything we call Tufton, everything we call Andrew.
but Jay, let me ask you this, Shika. And HR, you can answer this too. How many permanent secretaries do you know?
Two.
Two.
I was
You only
about to
know
say
the
that.
one in the Ministry of Health
Yes,
and
that
the
I
one at the
don't
Ministry of
done.
Education.
Yes, that's it.
Well,
No.
three. I would know the one at finance.
Yeah, we know the one at Finance.
Well,
And every single ministry has a permanent secretary. The permanent secretary is the probably now I'm gonna say I think the minister probably get $1 more than them.
$1.
$1 is the difference between the salary of the minister and the permanent secretary. $1. So these people are very well paid, but they are never held accountable for any failure at the ministry. And believe it or not, when I tell you that the permanent secretaries, they hold more power than the minister, The minister most of the time is a figurehead in these places. The permanent secretary has the power. The permanent secretaries are the ones that runs the ministry. right? And we need, if you remember when Desmond become mayor of Kingston, that's when majority of people find out what is the job of the mayor. We need something like that. Somebody to wake up these people and say, listen to me now. When something happen, we are going to send them out, they're going to face the camera. They're going to stop hide behind the ministers. Yes, I agree. The ministers are responsible overall. Right? But we are going to start make sure so we're not out in the public because we're not getting peer. And when there's a failure and the failure is on their part, we have to start push them out there too. Only so we are going to get better. But HR, I'm going to say something else to Ashika a while ago, and is one of my beliefs is that one of the biggest problem we probably have in Jamaica is it's simple, but it's big and it costs a lot. Is the respect for time. Respect for time, respect for my time, respect for your time. And if we can get people to not just respect, but value time,
Yep.
we will get so much done.
Yep.
When you feel reach work 8 o'clock, means that if you're walking 8:05, and when the supervisor or the manager asks why you're late, you say, why is only 5 minutes? No, it's not only 5 minutes, it's as much as 5 minutes. If we can get even this to go to schools, the other day it was in the news again, where the principal have to lock the gate and lock out some picnic. All because they don't respect the time when they leave school. And if you ask, go down a half a tree tomorrow and ask anybody where you see, what is your travel time to work? Them can't tell you. What is your travel time to school? Them can't tell you. So if you're not aware of your travel time, how do you know what time to leave your house? How do you know which bus is the bus where you must get on? If you're not aware of your travel time. Right? I believe if we place some emphasis on that, getting people to respect time, value time, we would get a more disciplined society. But again,
I think we need
But you
to
see,
put
Chuck,
back. Go ahead, HR.
but you see, Chuck, you see the lack of respect for time. It is symptomatic of a much broader problem, and that is you
That's
touched
where
on
I
it a
was
while
going.
ago. Order. We don't have no respect for nothing. We don't value nothing. We have a
That
set of people in this country where our value systems really.
it's
I don't know
under
where the
the
value system are
bottom.
go, but the value
Yep.
and our football time. That's right. The
Yep.
value system messed up
Yep.
big time. And a
It
part
has.
of that is a lack of respect for authority, a lack of respect for time, a lack of respect for a lot of things
You're gone
stemming
too
from
far,
our own
HR. You're gone
disorderly
too far.
conduct.
It is a lack of value for self. It is a lack of value for self. That is the problem, right? It is if you respect yourself, you will know, say, okay, my job is what is providing for me, so I have to show up on time. Right? When I show up on time, I am sure of my salary. I am sure when I'm productive at work, I am secure in my job that is doing everything else for me. Right? But the lack of value and respect for themselves, that is what's causing everything. Look at
Yeah,
what we
man.
see on
It
a
stems from
daily
indiscipline.
basis. Yeah, look at indiscipline. Look at what we see on a daily basis on TikTok. Look at it, what we see. Some of the things them we have to say, where the value system gone?
where the
Where
value
is
system
it?
gone?
Where gone? It went through the door. Some things we see on TikTok, some arguments we hear. People often I say, yo, bring back shame. Bring back shame. Because some things that is happening in the Jamaican society, it really needs to stop. And
Real.
it comes back again to valuing ourselves, right? Taking care of ourselves, beard, brush with teeth, show up on time, be on time.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
lack of discipline. It manifests itself in different ways. And as we're on the issue of value system, when we talk about voter apathy, Chuck and Lashika, that's where it manifests itself there too, because persons don't value politics anymore. They don't value it, so they
Right.
don't see the need to come out. And they have this argument to say, oh, whichever government is elected, may I eat tomorrow or may I go still suffer. So they don't see the need to participate, and that's a very skewed, that's a very messed up view to have. It's important to go out and participate in the electoral process because your politics will select your government, and your government will determine your future. And who you have at the helm of government is important. It's critical. So you have to participate and choose wisely. And I hope you choose Labour.
You know what I always say, and Chuck, you can come in on this, that me always say the government determine up to the rice you eat. Me remember one time, Chuck, what them say the rice used to go, Chuck, some poor quality.
Yes.
Plastic
Right.
rice.
No, not now, man. Not plastic rice. You used to get the rice, what we call rice head.
Oh.
Think back, Asia. There was a time when before you cook your rice on Sunday, you have to spend out 2 hours pick it out.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you put a one hole for black. Yes,
and trash.
But let me say this, Sheikah. One of the most valuable lessons I ever get at work. I remember one evening my boss said I go away, and the boss for carry out a task. Actually, he gave me 2 tasks to carry before leaving. I did one, and I didn't get to the other one. I actually forget to do the other one. So the next morning he called me, asked me about it. I missed it. Boy, so I never remember to do it. He said, all right, no problem, man. Everything good. But he said, what if I forget to pay your mountain? How you that feel? Simple thing, What if I forget to pay you? How would that make you feel?
Wow.
At the end of the work for you, that me forget it. Right? And I understand that is what it means. It's simple, just like how I value getting my salary when the month done, I seem to them value getting whatever task then give me complete. Right? I'm gonna figure that up to today. The sense, as I said, that's why I believe in a responsibility for what people are supposed to do. And it's gonna be a fight because basically I believe we look this is that generation, yeah, we lose them already. The one where they're in a high school now, I believe we lose them too. So we have to fight for the other one we are come behind them. So we can change.
I saw a comment. Somebody made a comment about in the new constitution that is coming, we need to hold the permanent secretaries accountable. Well, currently there is a framework in place to hold permanent secretaries accountable. Although a minister of government cannot fire a permanent secretary, the permanent secretary functionally and ultimately is responsible to the minister, right? So we also have a culture in our workspaces where we don't want to create a hostile work environment, so we sweep things under the rug. And you can hold somebody accountable,
without being hostile,
without being hostile, or without taking it into the public domain. So Lashika, Chuck, and myself here, we're talking. We don't know how many permanent secretaries have been held accountable, but we don't hear about it. I know that permanent secretaries from time to time are shifted around from ministry to ministry by the Public Services Commission. So it could very well mean that they are being held accountable, but we, the public, don't know. You get me? Because it would certainly look away if there's cascades are going between the minister and the permanent secretary in the ministry, or if that cascades become public. So it could very well mean that they are being held accountable, but the public, the common man, you and I, don't know because it's not played out.
I fail to believe they are. See Chops Media say, good night, Chops. Thanks for joining. I don't
Chops, I mean, I see him.
He's in the comments.
Okay.
I fail to believe that they are being held accountable because for so many reasons and we have seen the issues, like they continue, and most of them are PNP. Most of these people were planted there, and this is not me just saying things out of thin air. Aluma Samba said it. Them are gonna put them in the key positions, right? And even Chuck often repeat this. PJ say if him can't run government, then it don't make no sense. So they have put their people into the key positions, and they make the government look bad. The government cannot do what they're supposed to do, or the ministers, I should say, cannot do what they're supposed to do. right? And these people, I don't think they're being held liable for what's going on. And the ministers often take the blame. And just when we see when the plane landed in Jamaica, we see people step out and like people they need for come, the people them who in the positions that them need for come speak.
You see, like I said, she can say this all the while. Say, I follow politics in all of the major countries around the world. Everywhere politics are going, me know it. Everywhere people are, me know them. Me follow politics. And when it come to there was an incident in America where they call the what then they call that thing there again with Lee Boy and Malvo and the shooting and all of that when them are going to shoot people.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that it was the chief of police who we see on TV every day attacking. Right? We never see no senator come out, we never see the president come out.
And I was just about to say that Chuck said even recently with the Donald Trump, the attempted assassination,
Yes.
we not see the minister, we not see the national who we see, not the FBI director.
The FBI director we see
Right?
have to take the heat.
Yeah, though until she resigned, we have to start hold people accountable.
You see, as I said before, the FBI director, the CIA director answer questions. When it became time for policy to get involved, then they bring her to Congress to answer questions. That is when they say, we could check if the policies that are in place are okay. So at AC at the hospital now work. We hold the person who run the hospital in charge. When it becomes time to check, so now was this a policy failure? Then we bring them to Parliament and we say, what happened? That's how we need to set it up.
Good
Chap
night.
need a bless
Good
up
night.
yourself.
Good night, Mr. McCurdy.
What's going on, Chico?
Not my day out all a reason. How you
Want
do?
to jump in because you touch a point there where it kind of raised my eyebrow because I know we're talking about holding certain people accountable. Well, let me tell you what my observation is. The mechanism that Chuck is talking about is already in place, where who needs to hold who accountable is already established under the act that governs public sector workers and the Service Commission. The problem is that a precedent has been set, not by the regular blojo, but by politicians. Politicians, in their quest to wow voters, insert themselves into process that they have absolutely no business inserting themselves into. And they've been doing it for years. They have moved the permanent secretaries out the way and they have inserted themselves because of political expediency. Politicians want to look good, they want to feel like I'm the man, I'm the guy who's getting it done. And yes, they're trying to do that in order to appeal to the voters. But, and it has gone for too long now. I don't know how easy it is to reverse it. But if there's a concerted effort or a collaborative effort with ministers in particular to now say, hey, something happened, you step back and you, in a respectful way, set a precedent. I think any one minister can start that sort of approach where when something happens, it is dealt with by the persons who have the information. Did you know that every time you see a minister out there talking on an issue, he has to be briefed by the permanent secretary?
Uh,
The permanent
as the
secretary
as the
usually have
councillor
to brief
Ennis
him.
just pop in.
They have to give him a brief to explain to him what is happening and give him the backstory so he can go there to talk, so he can look good or he can look bad,
Mm-hmm.
which is not his purview. So it is a precedent that has been set by the politician. The truth is, when these things happen, for example, in the case of Dr. Tufton and the refrigerator AC system there,
Mm-hmm.
it is really the permanent secretary who's supposed to be facing the music. The operation doesn't, that's who's supposed to face the
Yeah,
music.
that's an operational failure.
Exactly.
That's not a
But
policy
we
failure.
have grown accustomed to everything will happen The politician wants to be the guy, so they insert themselves. I'm telling you, that's what it is. Love my politician, I love my MPs and my ministers, but let me call a spade a spade. They are the ones who insert themselves in the process. If they step back and allow the technocrats to deal with it, just take one example before I jump. Take one example. When we had this big hullabaloo with the Ministry of Health after COVID and the PNP attempt to make this big argument about the Auditor General's report on the Ministry of Health, who settled that argument?
It
It
was
was
settled when
Dunstan Bryan, the permanent secretary, who went to
Right.
Parliament and rubbish every single thing that the Auditor General put on paper, which just didn't make any sense. And he did it effectively,
Yes.
eloquently.
Yes.
So that is the approach. That is the approach you need
I
pretty much on our level.
I think I see Chris, before you leave. I know you say you're jumping out, but hold on. I think I see Minister Tufton trying to do that. And I think I've also seen where Daryl is trying to attempt that, but we need to do it more often because we need to start knowing who is to be held accountable. And I was speaking earlier that I saw somebody sending to one of those blog sites earlier today that the person was at the hospital for an extensive period of time, and they don't people don't like they're saying the government don't care, and everybody in the comment section was blaming the government for it. And I had to comment and say, when do we hold the right people accountable? Or is it that some people must do the bare minimum, collect them pay, go at them yard, and then we blame other people? We come here just now to talk about other things, and accountability, the word that has been popping up, chops, all night, because we see where accountability is a big problem among us, as especially Jamaicans.
But what do you think caused that, though? Let me tell you what actually caused that as well. You see, the media and civil society
Mm-hmm.
is part of the biggest failure in this country, because
It's
civil
hard to
society
be.
and the media know exactly
Yep.
where the problem lies, but they fail. When last I hear one journalist call out the permanent secretaries and say, "Hey, I need to speak to the permanent secretary in the Ministry of so and so on an issue." As something happened, they're the ones who the minister will join us. The minister will join us. You don't need to speak to the minister.
Mm-hmm.
Go and speak to who you know is the right person to speak to, because the minister have to get a brief from the permanent secretary. But because people tend to, and let me tell you why, they do it deliberately now.
Yes.
If it was a case where it is
Politically
something,
motivated.
yes, if it was something to make the minister look good, right, they don't normally call on the minister.
Yes.
They'd call on somebody else.
I'm going to share another example with you. Another example that I have. Good night, Travi. Thanks for joining. Another example that I have. The opposition minister, the opposition spokesman on health came out the other day, and he was talking about, we were buying subpar equipment and machines for the hospitals and all of that. And I am saying, why does the minister have to come out and speak about that when we have a whole procurement process? Why? Right? So that kind of bothers me from this, and may I say, hey, we need to do better as a nation. And one of the reporter was saying the minister need to come and resolve this, because these are big allegations and all of that and all of that. Knowing
Right.
very
Like
well
we said, the minister shop.
Right, knowing very well that we have a procurement process.
Right. So yeah, we need to start pushing these people out in the way, make people understand the process better. So that people can stop actually what would I call manipulate the system. And as Chap said, the media is guilty of leading the way of manipulating the minds of the people. And again, that's why we have to say the Prime Minister is so correct when they speak about fighting to the minds. when the PM say we are fight for the minds of the people, you not tell the lie, you know. It's serious when you say we are fight for the minds. Because we have to reprogram the people and thinking.
HR, I see you're trying to come in, but it is saying your internet connection is weak, device not connected, so I don't know. Travi, what's going on? I hear nothing from Travi. Travi?
Hey, good night, good night. What's up?
Nothing much. How are you? Thanks for
I'm doing
joining.
alright. How are you guys doing?
Night one job.
With,
Just joining the conversation, you know. And I
with the
hear. Go ahead.
with the year attack about accountability, we started off say, hey, we are gonna jump and fix that, but we reached accountability because we realize that our people are just not accountable at all, Travi. A lot.
For real, you know, I had the same back and forth on Instagram in the comments of when Mrs. Brownberg decided to blame politics for the non-development of her constituency. Her heart
Mm-hmm.
was to her heart was to go in to let them know that over the period of time that they have had control of the constituency from 2007 to 2024, over $160 million would have been injected into the constituency just through the CDF only. I'm not talking about other means of funding that a constituency has access to, but just the CDF, Constituency Development Fund, over $160 million. And I asked the question, what is her legacy for this amount of money spent? Mind you, though, the 2007 to 2024 would have been that Portia Simpson Miller being the member of parliament for the area and also served as prime minister at the time. So she had 4 or 5 years where she had full power and there was no development. Yet the current member of parliament decides to blame politics for the blocking of the fixing of the road that brought this conversation to life, and that and also the non-development of the constituency. And people in the comments is siding with her. And I have to say, this is the problem that Jamaica have. We don't hold people to account because not only do they have a PMP member of parliament, they have control of the KSA SAMC, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. They have control of it. So the blame should lay squarely with them because the local and central governmental representative is PNP, and the development is non-visible, and they won't, blame the people responsible. They want to just lay the blame squarely on the government as an escape, and not to be held accountable.
We and then again that we said that as some disrespect to the Jamaican people, Travi, because there's no way you can be an MP for a constituency and then you're going to say, oh, blame the government. So where is your lobbying? Where is your lobbying skills? What have you been doing? Right? Chuck was talking earlier about Eri's constituency. Maybe even Chops can give us more details because Chuck was saying most of the work that goes on into that constituency and not really government money is lobbying other people or other organizations. Good night, everybody, for those who are just joining the Allen's family. Bertie, Mikhail, good night. And Shirley, you've been here. Good night. Thanks for joining. Natalie, big up. Counselor Ellis, big up as well if you're still here. Thanks for joining.
It definitely is a disrespect to the intelligence of the Jamaican people. I did mention that. I did mention that it's an insult to the intelligence of the public because the way these people operate and deflect blame game and don't take responsibility, as if
Oh,
people don't
sorry,
have enough
Travi, you sound very
evidence to
low.
know who
Let
is
me
in
mute
control.
Chops. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it's an insult on the intelligence of the people, and they have been insulting the intelligence of the Jamaican people for a long period of time now, by their utterances and positions taken, as if people don't have enough sense to know that, hey, this not add up. What do you mean politics is blocking the development of your constituency, where the roads are concerned. You are a seasoned veteran as a member of parliament. You're not a first time MP. You
Exactly.
understand? And a high ranking member of your party. You would have known or is expected to know the different channels which to go through if you do have an interest to develop the people.
You
And
know
as
what? You know what's funny, Travi? Remember, say she's a part. She come up through local government, to right, Chuck?
Yes.
yes, she was mayor of Kingston and St. Andrews.
Right. So she's supposed to know exactly what to do.
Yep. And that's why I say
But
it's an insult. It's an insult, and this latest response is a disgrace from her. I did put it into the chat because it is unbelievable that these people are playing these games in this modern age. We're in the information age, and these people play these games. I was having a conversation earlier today. I'm not sure who's live. I don't quite remember. I was driving at the time, and I was talking about the MPs where the social houses are being handed out in their constituency. They don't post it. They don't try to bring awareness where this is concerned. And a lot of them is holding back their housing allotment that they get for their constituency in a bid to make it seem as if nothing is going on. So they are willing to suffer the people to try and gain political mileage in this modern time. And people need to hold them accountable. We really, really have a problem with accountability in this country.
Chops, you're jumping in on that.
Yeah, man. He's correct. It was yesterday we were talking about it, about the fact that the amount of houses that have been allocated for both JLP and PAP members of parliament, and we are yet to see a lot of the PNP's ones. And funny enough, it was today I saw that one was handed over in Western St. Andrew, Anthony Hilton's constituency, somewhere there in Carolo Muse.
Chaps,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you a gentleman that you know from Seaview Garden that received one of those houses. I think you remember a guy named Elick. He used to drive taxi.
I know Alec, man.
Elick received one of those houses.
Where was it built though?
Yeah, it was built a couple. It was handed over to him early last year.
No, where was it built?
Right on the spot. You know, all right. You remember Greg? Right in front of Greg house, right there, sir. Which part
Okay.
film house it burned down. Then lick down the old structure and build it up right on the original spot.
Okay, awesome.
Right there, sir.
Awesome. But you see, accountability, guys, and it's a serious issue, because as I said to you before, part of the problem is the public sentiment. Jamaicans don't like politicians, We don't like politicians broadly because of how politicians are sold to the Jamaican people by
And
the
viewed.
media, and civil society.
And politicians themselves to chuck it,
Yes,
chops,
yes, yes.
because politicians are gonna say, oh, that side corrupt, and when they become government, oh, that side corrupt. Like,
Right.
so them themselves set up themselves, they don't stand together against this particular
Exactly. You
thing.
wouldn't, because of political expediency, you wouldn't get them come together and say, look, because the truth is, Dr. Tufton made a statement the other day, and he didn't say it with any force. He said it quite callously when he said, when you talk about corruption and corruption and corruption, it's not me. You're accusing of corruption, because I don't know nothing at all about the process of procurement. I don't handle the procurement process. So you continuously talk about corruption. Is it hard-working civil servants that you're accusing of being corrupt? Is it people in the procurement department and the HR and the accounting department that you're accusing of being corrupt? Now, when you have politicians on both sides start to take that position, then you will recognize that. I guess people will now recognize that. Look, we need to lay off of this corruption bullshit. The other argument is, if both political parties start to recognize what their core function is. For example, and we just said it a while ago, when something happened within the ministry, allow the relevant authorities to deal with it. I think politicians are inserting themselves in places they have absolutely no business going. They're not technical people. They're policy people. Stick to policies and go on the ground, go talk to people about the work of the government instead of trying to run ministries. Every block will lay, you have to answer to the ground breaking, you have to answer to the ribbon cutting. I'm not saying you're not supposed to break ground or cut ribbon, you know. I just believe that the politicians are overly exposed, and that is what is causing a lot of the problem. The permanent secretary, who is the ultimate manager for the ministry,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the buck actually stops. And the permanent secretary is allowed to walk away with a free hand, while
And
the
them name and
politicians are
most of them names never call.
never.
And if,
Never.
and if you and if you know if people don't understand how far removed politicians are, the politician is from the process entirely, they would stop the nonsense of blaming politicians, because our government work, especially our system, each ministry or the public bureaucracy is there. It's a conduit through which policy that is made in cabinet gets through to the people. That's how it works. That's how it works. So although the minister is at the top of the totem pole, yes, he's only there to ensure that government policy is promulgated through the bureaucracy that exists.
Mhm. Chuck, what say you?
Well, I totally agree. The minister's job is policy driven. We should only talk to the minister when there's a policy failure, not when one equipment mash down.
Are it supposed to be bought,
Are
right?
it supposed to be bad? No. The minister is for, and I think somebody did it. I don't remember who that other video that says that there was 17 persons between the minister
Mm-hmm.
and public funds.
Mm-hmm.
17 persons there between the minister and the public funds. But when $1 missing, we remove the 17 person,
And we put it squarely at the feet
really
of
at the
the
minister.
minister's
Right.
feet.
And Chaps is right. Them need to come out now and start to listen to me. Our job is to guide policy. So
But Chuck,
when the AC, yeah,
I want to say this. You see, it's you know how we cause a problem though. We the politicians, everybody, citizens, everybody, we cause a problem because take for example the AC issue at the children's hospital. So the AC stopped work or the AC wasn't working. I see PNP take it and start use it as a political football. So people, so onlookers now, the ordinary man, see PNP start blame government for AC when I work. Yeah, they not question that. They must say, oh, it's the minister, it stop with the minister when there's a whole management team at the hospital. But nobody not look upon that. Nobody not look upon that. They blame the minister. So we create it with, as Chopper said, political expediency. We create the mess that we're in as it relates to accountability or lack thereof.
but no,
The culture
knowing
we
where
have.
we are, if we here recognize the problem, how do we then ensure that, listen to me, future person who take up this position don't face the same thing what we face? And it's not a one party issue, it's both party issue. How do we ensure that future persons who take up the position don't face what we face? That when decent people enter politics, them can enter politics with a clean hand, serve with a clean hand, and exit with a clean hand. Right? How do we change that?
I was just about to touch that point that, because of how the current climate is, you'll have bright minds that will refrain from coming in because they know they're doing a true work. But the character assassination and the dragging through the mud that they'll have to live with is just, it's distasteful and it's a turn off. Bright, brilliant people and the things they have to face all in the means of gaining political mileage,
And
and the people who are to be held accountable. just walks free. They're not they don't face any, you know, anything repercussions for their actions and their failures. So we really have to find a way, as you're suggesting, Chuck, to, ensure that this doesn't continue.
And I'm glad we went there, right, Travi? Because it is something that I have been thinking about, and I think I was doing a video about it with the whole Dennis Brooks situation. I think I posted something on YouTube as well with the whole Dennis Brooks situation. Remember, say, like, every single time a person that is not politically aligned, right, that is not politically aligned or to one specific party, then these people, chops your camera, we're seeing you. um that are not politically aligned or to a specific party, then they are dragged through the mud. The man is well qualified, maybe even overqualified for the position that he's in. But what happened? He was dragged, or he's being dragged, or his promotion is not welcome. And like, if we continue to be like this and to do this to our citizens, then we're not gonna have nobody at Jamaica a serve. There won't be anybody here.
But you have to bear in mind, that these things, when being done by the People's National Party and their surrogates all over, are being done strategic in order to make good people shy away from the system. Because if good people enter the system, if people recognize what is true representation, if people recognize what true service is like, and if people recognize what politicians are supposed to do, then that will destroy their chance of leading Jamaica again.
And this is why they keep the people uninformed and poor and tell them say they love the poor.
That is it. We love the poor.
And an example of this is Westmoreland. Sorry to say, I'm not beating up on the Westmorelites, but I just have to say it.
We need to Lashika. It appears that we need to, because they need to wake up. Try, we need to wake them up.
We repeat it over and over. That Westmoreland has been the most, Westmoreland has produced some of the most powerful members of parliament in the People's National Party.
Oh yes, I know.
And
yeah, man.
Today is still the most underdeveloped parish. There's people still living in Westmoreland in a boardhouse or built on 4 stick. But
Travian, if you talk to your people, Travian, if you talk to your people, man.
Right, Travian, try.
I don't want you guys to take it talk this thing as if it's a joke, It's not a joke. It's not something to laugh over. It's quite serious to know that these people have remained loyal to something that doesn't serve them in any way, shape, or form, as far as I can see. Listen, I posted a video most recently with Andrew Holness laying some blocks, and then I showed, pictures in a video format, but then I showed Mark Golden with a little prop, a fake thing with the blocks with no cement between.
No cement.
I will inform you that every single person in that picture, I know them. Yeah, me know them. And funny enough, it's just last week, me see the lady that was there in that little photo prop or photo op, that little fake thing, right? Me see her daughter, a pose and a push and a promote. Doing Vaz. And I said, this, me no know. It's a sickness that these people have.
It's a Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm, yes.
Sickness, man.
When you're in love with the abuser. Because the PNP has definitely abused Westmoreland over and beat them, come and left them high and dry. See them Wickham McNeil, who is a how much time and send him gone
term with no legacy. 4 consecutive terms with no legacy. Nothing. The man was in
But
charge for one of the tourism capital of Jamaica at the time, and the tourism capital had to be removed from the area because it has fallen so far behind. So far behind, and I say this administration now has identified an area for an international airport to be placed in that area, which would have boosted the economy in that area in so many different ways. It would have boosted the tourism there. It would have boosted the local economy being there,
I
right?
have to add,
Creating many
Travis.
jobs.
last speaker,
Yes. Hold on,
um,
hold on before you answer that.
Let me say this before you make your point. They say Westmoreland is the PMP's whore. I'll say that.
HR, before you jump on, I wanted to probably answer this person. St. Elizabeth family. So if Bunting is dragging Brooks in the mud and he becomes the next security minister, is he going to demote him? From my knowledge, he cannot do that. But maybe
no, that can't. That I was. That's what I was. That's what I called you. I was trying to call your attention to. We were
okay.
talking about persons who don't understand how government operates. This is an example of that. So no, St. Elizabeth family. If Bunting, God forbid, becomes the next security minister, he cannot demote Brooks. That's not how the system
Not
works. That's not the
single-handedly by
responsibility of the
himself.
minister. That's not the
Not single.
responsibility of the minister, St. Elizabeth family. That's a prerogative of the Commissioner of Police and the Public and the Police Services Federation or Commission.
And just to add HR that this government put in legislation that would have separated the operations branch of the police from the political arm, which is from the minister.
Which is
So,
wise. That
which
was
is why
wise.
so no minister can take up a phone and call a commissioner of police and say, demote the man there, do something. No,
Right.
that is now an
Right.
illegal act. Right, so we are safe amongst that. But as we talk about the PMP abuse, let me say this. And I think we ignore what one of the ladies said when they were talking about the road run by Angela Brown Burke. And run by Angela Brown Burke is not the only place that I know this happened. When she said that during the 2007 election, the PMP would have dropped mall on the road to fix it. And after they lose, they can take up back the mall. We want people understand that, this is a constituency that has been loyal to Portia Simpson and the PMP since 1976, For them, the heart of them, it's not on the sideline where border one is in the heart of them constituency, The night of the election, then drop the mall. When they lose the election, them send can take it up back. And it happened at one next constituency in a cent, and I don't remember if it was Lisa and a constituency then did it in a so. Where them drop mall. And then when they lose election, they gonna take it up back. In fact, some of the places that they have done this, even when they win election, they still got take up back the mall.
So it happened in St. Elizabeth.
St. Elizabeth.
I remember when Norman Horn was running down there, eh?
Yes.
And they drop all
Yes,
the
that was
pipeline and
2012.
stuff.
Chuck, hold
They
on.
drop the pipeline and then take it up back the day after.
The same thing happened in Wickham McNeil constituency. There's a area called, I think it's Cornwall Mountain. It's not Cornwall Mountain. I don't remember
Annual
exactly.
Mountain is where Donnet is.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not that side. It's back to the Grange Hill area side right there. So some mountain thing. But the people were without water. And near the election they brought and dropped some pipes. All right. They lost. After the election they took back the pipes.
There was a video of Lisa Hanna in 2016 walking through one bush in a St. Anne. So she looking for pipe to run water.
I think it was with Matthew. Was it that one?
No, it wasn't with Matthew. It was little after the election when they lost. And I was saying that then after by the way, that constituency, Lisa Hanna constituency, is the only one. I don't think the Labour Party has ever openly won that constituency. Never. Not from 1944 coming up. And it was after they lost an election and Lisa Hanna was the member of parliament from board. When she took over, 97. And it's after you lose an election in 2016, you are going to look for pipe. They have a history of manipulating them supporters, of dangling the carrot in front of them, of promising them that better must come.
And a black man time now.
And a black man time now.
And a woman time now. Don't stop the progress.
Don't stop the progress. Them have a history of manipulating the people like that.
Right. And we are yet to see the progress.
Right. And that is what Gregory Barrett said.
He's asking if they get money to fix, if PNP get money to fix constituency. Of course, all MPs. All MPs.
Gregory, one of the legacy of Bruce Golding in I'm short tenure is the Constituency Development Fund. It was Bruce Golding that run on a promise that, chaps, was it 5% of the budget? And chaps?
I am not sure, but I'm not sure on that, but I will add that it's what 20 million
each
fiscal year, the CDS.
Each fiscal year. So every constituency, no, not 20, is it a 20 million or 150 million?
I think it's 20 million, man. I think it's 20 million. 20 million. A card and a tier.
20 or 22, I think. 20 or 22 million, thereabout.
So it was the legacy of Bruce Golding that says, listen to me, we have to make a percentage of the budget available for constituency development, right? So that is one of Bruce Golding's legacy, and it doesn't go to the government members alone. It goes to every single member of parliament. All they have to do is submit them project. If you have a road to fix with it, fix the road. Right? So each of them get an equal amount of money, not to mention other government entities that is available to them. Right? Now, how much PMP member of parliament you hear talking about them Sparks project? Most of them you hear singing the process, them are going to do no. Because again, they want to enter the dangle the carrot mentality with the people. Them boys, government tell them how to fix the road, but if they fix it, that's how it go. Right?
They don't want to do anything that will improve the life of the people under the government because they don't want the government to get the praises, but under the government to do it because if you're working MP, your people are going to always support you. That's how I see it. Right? If you're working MP, the people them are gonna support you. In my work, a part of the polls where them do the there is this man, I think his name is Garfield Higgins or something like that. He writes in the newspaper every Sunday. And he's saying that he does his regular poll with the people. He drives around the country and he will talk to the Jamaicans, right? And one of the things that he often hears is that they will support this government because them here, oh, you know, I try, say him could do a little bit more, but me see where I try. And he said the most prominent thing that he hears among the people, they are trying, right? So them don't want that to go to the government. Them don't want that to go to the government. Them not even do that none at all. People will always look out for you if them see where you're trying. PNP run pipe in Jerryfield. I think it's Jerry, or if my pronunciation is wrong, I'm sorry. Monig in sentence in the 70s, and it was in 2008. Water went through.
I remember that. I remember that. Yes. I remember that. And that's what I said. Them have this thing about manipulating the people. When it comes time for election, then drop Mal, they send in Sevilla. And I remember as a little boy, I go up a country, you know, that when it come time to election, you say 1,000 people come measure road, come after equipment, and you say measurement and go on, and it was just the manipulation, right? And you know, as I say, the idea to change the mindset of the people, whereby we vote for representation, we vote for who doing the work. We judge people based on their performance. Because if we were in a situation where people are held to their performance, Angela Brownberg could have never show her face on TV and talk about one road in her own constituency.
And the road wouldn't look like that.
And it would, thank you.
Because I know since 2000 and 2020 the road started to deteriorate. I guarantee you. Because see, if pumpkin are growing there in the right in time for Halloween.
in the farmer mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew.
Lord
The same
Jesus.
mayor that tax handcat.
That tax and cat.
The very same mayor that tax handcat that would have known the ins and outs.
But let me tell you the difference. Let me point out the difference between. I used to live up in Nigel Clark's constituency, right? I live up there for a brief period. And there's a road that I used to live on. You have a spot on it where break out easily. Some hole break up there for bad drive. And believe me when I tell you, say, every single time them road they break out, within a couple of weeks, there's a truck there fixing it. And you know why? Because the people that lives there, people might say, it's because, are rich people, so then try. No. It's because the people that live there demand that as the member of parliament, you're not going to sit down for a corner and buy with beer, you know. But your job is to fix the road. Now, if you walk around Angela Brownborough constituency and say, one, fix the road or buy no 2 beer. Tell me what the choice is going to be. It's sad. But them are going to say, give me the beer.
You know, I remember when you said that Chuck, when they went into St. Mary and I think they closed the banana farm, the banana tree, and everybody jump up and say, yeah, hallelujah.
I know that you remember. You must remember, people are not sent and what you don't want.
No,
nothing, Joshua.
Play the music.
Play the music.
Play the music. That's hard.
And I think that happened in Westmoreland to PJ's constituency. When they asked him, what do you want? And them said, nothing, only you. Jesus. Guys, this is what we call Stockholm Syndrome. When you abuse you, you hug him up and kiss him up.
There's a joke where that is normally told. When they tell about the black man, the white man, and the Chinese man.
Big up protecting JA. Big up protecting JA. Thanks for stopping by. One can also follow his his channel or her channel, and the information is also over there. But continue.
There's a joke that is often told about the black man, the white man, and the Chinese man. When they were in line and God was giving no talent. And the line is long, so the black man run a back and him keep peeping out. And I never see him time.
Travi mute, please.
Travi mute. Yeah. Then said the line was long, so the black man was at the back and him keep peeping out. So the white man go and him getting talent. The black man peep out again and God look up in jumping back. So one night time, God must have decided to hear what. I just find out when I kind of look anxious. So one night time in peep out. And God said, all right, black man, what you want? He said, nothing, sir, and jump back in a line. That is the PMP feel. That is the PMP behavior. They don't want not a thing from the PMP party. And this is something that has been said to me over and over. You know, it's not lie. PMP supporter tell me this. Say, them would rather PMP mash up Jamaica than live and die when Labourites are fix it. That is something that has been told to me by PMP personnel.
And I'm going to repeat something to you. See, Gregory, I sound if you like up the life. Then I can't believe sound not like up the life. I sound not treat me. Jesus. Do better than that, man. Tra. Anyhow, there's something that I'm going to repeat as well that one of our fellow um Labourites have said to us one day, Chuck. I think it was on your live to on TikTok, where he said he was talking to a teacher. And and him say, I hope you vote Labour right this time, And she was like, no, me not vote no Labour right. And then him say, then if PNP win, go get one the wage freeze. She said, yeah, me will take the wage freeze. When Labour right come back in the power, me will sure know say me will get the wage freeze, me will get a wage increase, but me will take the wage freeze under PNP.
And that therein lies our problem. That is our problem. That you will accept that. As long as your government is in, you don't want anything. You are good. And that is why the public sector was able to sit down under the PMP under wage freeze for 10 years. Not one complaint. That is why Lambert Brown can boast to locking down Sibani Ocherius. Chaps, you know that story. That is why he can boast that is his claim to fame. Lock down Sibani, lock down Goodyear.
Remember the Goodyear.
Lock down the free zones. Yep. Right. Right, she.
Remember, over where Goodyear factory is, the Prime Minister just reminded us that they're paying mortgage for the potential BPO sector, the BPO office
building.
Not the BPO.
For the building.
No, not the BPO. What we have now is BPO. Back then it was call center.
A call center that was supposed
and people need to know there's a difference between call center and BPO.
All right. I stand corrected, but guys, there was supposed to be a call center there. And I'll know not one person, no employee, and guess who is paying for that? The taxpayers of Jamaica. And remember, so we still a pay for out of many. Hello?
Remember Chilani Greenfield Stadium?
Chilani White Elephant. Right? And listen to me. Remember this, And Travis McGrath, you remember about Chilani Multipurpose Stadium. Just before the 2007, I went to the World Cup again. 2006. Just before that World Cup, a team came here from the International Cricket Council, visited the grounds, and tell the government of Jamaica that no matches will be held there.
Just an opening ceremony.
Yes. And they proceeded to spend millions of dollars of taxpayers' money to build it.
And to maintain it now.
As a
matter of fact, we haven't cleared the debt to which we incurred for the construction of that. The debt has not been cleared. I believe Mr. Clark mentioned it in the last budget cycle, our budget presentation.
Yes. And it had to be done with borrowed money.
But it is alleged, Chuck, it is alleged that PJ Patterson has a property somewhere there. And in order for the property value to be increased significantly or dramatically, then the stadium had to be built. Well, they went on with it. Allegedly, that's what I think I heard a few Labourites said before. So
that is why they had to run with it.
So it was another run with it. It wasn't about the economical benefits, but was more about personal benefits. Again, personal benefits.
PMP don't care about economical benefit for Jamaica at large, As long as there's somebody benefiting, they're good. Because they can point to that person and say, see there, let me do something.
Watch hypocrisy. Watch hypocrisy. Let me bring everything into focus now. So We spent over 500 million on this stadium, right? And it's not functional right now. We're not using it. I couldn't tell the last time we heard of a function being held there, an event being held there. Right? So we have the same brazen PNP stand up today to complain in the form of Mr. Wavel Hines talking about Sabina Park and how much it is deteriorating, and it is such an important part of it in our history, and nothing is being done. If the money that was spent there was spent in redeveloping Sabina Park, it would be a world class facility this today. It would have been a
I,
world class facility. So you don't. How can you, the one who is squandering money, complain about money not being spent on other assets? It's a joke.
when we say no shame, Chappie, when we say no shame, right? When we say no shame,
And there's one thing that I need to mention, that I think went over a lot of people's head through, I think it was Edmund Bartlett's budget presentation. And I think it flew over a lot of people's head where he said, I think it was Operations Pride, where
uh-huh.
the people in or I think it was either FINSAC or Operation. I think it was Operation Pride, where they said the people of Providence, which is in St. James, where they had to pay. The people were promised their titles and they did not get them, but they were still owing, and they used the TEF to pay for so that those people can get their money, can get their titles. Sorry, right? So every corner you turn, there is a debt here or there or somewhere there after the 18 years of the PNP. And when we talk about it, people are saying, oh, don't talk about the past and 18 years and whatever. We have to talk about it because we're still paying, literally, we're still paying because of this.
I agree. What and it was Operation Pride because we know the FINSAC only take away title and no give. By
Right?
that process we know.
Right. So it was Operations Pride, right? Where the people them was not able to get their. They took the people their money and say, hey, yeah, go get your title. But when it go back, them can't get no title, money when still owe and all of that, and nothing never did happen for the people them can't get them title.
But
Edward Bartlett, this government paid off those debt the other day with TEF money.
I am
Hold
glad you
on.
mentioned that,
Hold on.
because
Hold on.
go ahead, Chappie.
Let me see about my understanding of the said situation. So from what I understood of what was happening, seeing the property was still under control of some of the persons who buy out the debt through FinSac. It was still in a FinSac situation. But when they made the promise to give lands to people through the Operation Pride, where they made the allotment, remember they couldn't give the waging freeze. They promised and allocated these lands that they didn't even have access to. They didn't have ownership over, but it was just as said, it was a promise. So they put the people on these promises about the land, and when the time come for them to actually get it, they couldn't get it because it was already being held up because it was a debt. It was being held as collateral for a debt from FinSac time.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So what had to happen was they had to use the tourism enhancement fund money to pay up that so that they could actually give the people title for that piece of land. That's the understanding I had of the situation. So it is when you were
The
asking what it
situation,
was FinSac or,
this,
or, or it was Operation Pride, it was actually a combination of the two.
the situation you're talking about is a total different one. It's not the most recent one where the prime minister was handing out the houses in
No,
Kerwin,
no, no, no. I'm talking about the land in oh
Providence,
God,
Montego
in
Bay.
Providence, in
Mm-hmm,
St. James with that
mm-hmm,
Minister Bartlett was talking about. But I'm
mm-hmm.
saying the title, the people who had an escrow on the land for them so that they could not actually give the individuals title, they gained power over that through the FinSac area, through the
And,
FinSac era. And
and
then
let
they
us.
went and promised and allot the land to people
Mhm.
through Operation Pride. Remember when Operation Pride came about, when they couldn't give the the wage increase and then say, okay, they will give lands and certain things to the people. And if the Prime Minister was talking about it, that's how that situation actually played out.
I
That
remember
was
say
what
I
he
saw
was referring to.
them bankrupt housing agency of Jamaica too, and they don't
Yeah.
talk about that, Remember, Remember, say that is another bankrupt entity
Mm-hmm.
under the PNP,
Yeah.
They love debt for you, Gregory. Bad, bad, bad.
Yes,
But
man.
but guys, it was nice chatting with y'all. I'm gonna end right now. We have been here for 2 hours. You may catch us next week again. We will be back here.
Subscribe, like, share. Stay tuned. Turn on the post notification to know when, we go live again.
But Sabina Park isn't even owned by the government, it's owned by Kingston Cricket Club. A lot of things are like that, my brother.
But that doesn't mean a public private partnership cannot be done or could not have been done, which would have probably cost less to redevelop something that is already a staple within the local cricket fraternity. It would have been better to redevelop
I think
Sabina
I think
Park, rather than build a stadium all the way out there and nothing.
yeah, I think the PNP, as we have always said, they are not good managers of the country's affairs. So we have seen it, and we can always point to something, right? That says, hey, you're not good at this, leave this alone. Right? So but guys, we'll catch up again. Thanks for coming. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing. Big up on yourself, Angel, Gregory, SJ, Vacation, Bertie, all those who are here. I appreciate you guys, and we will come back again next week, Saturday.
Okay.
Bye. Good night, everybody. HR Guru, big up.
Blessings.
Yeah, man. Good night. Take care.
Bye.